afternoon, and welcome to the Paper Things Season 4, Episode 48. As yet untitled, but I'm sure whatever we do during the show will lead us towards the promised land of a title. Today is not a magazine special because it was Kid in the Room's birthday this weekend, and I really just didn't have the time to find a magazine suitable for today. But there will be a magazine special at some point this week. Instead, we have a four-paper show. We have The Sun, The Times, The Daily Mail, and The Guardian. We're going to be speed running probably The Guardian today, starting with The Sun and ending, as we so often do, with The Daily Mail. Yes, hi, Sangamaya. Yes, it is a cursed background. Hello, how are you? Yes, the background is in honour of Kid in the Room's birthday, which is today. She's obviously at school, so she cannot appreciate this background. And I suspect she wouldn't appreciate this background regardless. But anyway, there he is, Boris Johnson, clasping a birthday cake as he hangs pointlessly from a zip line. So we're going to start today with The Sun. Let's get the most... Is it the most cursed? Probably not. But let's get one of the most cursed in today's pile out of the way. So, starting with The Sun. Front page. England raw on best bar none is the headline. They couldn't be bothered to put any news on there. England won their game on Saturday. So it's not news. And they're tying this in with Boris Johnson looking set to scrap all of the restrictions and rules from the 19th of July. Going to announce that tonight at a press conference in Downing Street. Hey, Studying Fangirl, how you doing? Yes, this is a special backdrop in honour of Kid in the Room's birthday. Hello, Bad Motivator, how are you doing? Good to see you. Right, moving on. Inside, the first pages 2 and 3 are a spread of the England players hanging out in a swimming pool, and Stuart Pearce saying, these boys are more world-class than 96. Well, they'd have to be, wouldn't they? So come on, I would give anything to whack Johnson with a mallet as he hangs pointlessly from a zip line in a Minecraft simulation, of course. Hey, SK the Crusader, how are you doing? Good to see you. On pages 4 and 5, gratuitous pictures of England fans and England girlfriends wearing bikinis. No good reason for that. Mark notices, I'm assuming pubs can scrap table rule means we're allowed to throw tables around. That's my understanding of it. Adrian Chiles says, they did us proud, now stick by them. Let's bottle this feeling, shall we? We have a brilliant bunch of players who also happen to be decent people. Yeah. Okay, all right. Calm it down, Adrian, mate. I can't cope with nonce finance. If you've not seen the tweet about nonce finance, it's quite special. Hey, Taya, right? How are you doing? Good to see you. This is exactly what I just said to someone in a WhatsApp group. I feel like the simulation needs a full reset with the with nonce finance emerging out of the algorithm. Right, okay, moving on in The Sun. On page 7, which is page 3 today, Isa's on the prize. Isa Gonzalez, the Baby Driver star, 31, who was dating pro lacrosse player Paul Rabbill. Is there such a thing as pro lacrosse players? I just thought it was a posh game for posh schools. The Baby Driver star, 31, who was dating pro lacrosse player Paul Rabbit, 35, posed in a cardigan and fluffy slippers for Roller Coaster magazine. What is this magazine? I have never heard of it. Also on page 7, the BBC has slightly altered its logo. There's a claim that they've spent £10,000 doing so. I don't know where that claim is coming from. I think it's bullshit, basically. I'll look into it, but I think it's bullshit. Mark Gnosis was in Double Smiths the other day, and they had this magazine called The History of Communism, the bloody roots of this extreme ideology. Was going to pay for it to be the magazine special, but it was £12. Could be worth it. Could be worth it. On pages 8 and 9, exclusive pictures of Katie Price after surgery. Honestly, really grim. On page 11, Simon Thomas, whose wife passed away from cancer 4 years ago, has got married again. Nice for him. And at the bottom of that page, Gordon's Hitchin Nightmare. A dream beach wedding turned into a nightmare when it was gate crashed by Gordon Ramsay. The couple say filming ruined pictures and their £50 a head meal was cheap and nasty as Ramsay was using the kitchen. Charlie Willis, 35, and wife Laura paid £1,300 for a ceremony in gourmet grub for 6 on a private beach last month, but on the day, Kitchen Nightmare star Ramsay, 54, was also at Lusty Glaze Beach, real name, near Newquay, Cornwall, filming for his new show Future Food Stars. Plumbing merchant Charlie from Kettering, Northant said, "The whole thing was a complete kitchen nightmare. We both worked so hard to save for that day and we felt like extras on a game show." In a letter to Charlie and healthcare assistant Laura, a producer from Studio Ramsay said, I'm mortified that we affected your special day. A spokeswoman for Lusty Glaze said the circumstances were very unusual, but the wedding party had not secured exclusive use of the beach. As a gesture of goodwill, Ramsay has paid back the couple's £1,300, which was just left at the end there. There's a 90s hip-hop duo called The Nonce, and a KRS-One song had a guest verse by someone called P. Doe. Jesus. Pages 12 and 13. All over soon, drinkers can stand at bars from the 19th of July. Oh, I can't wait to stand at a bar again. The loss of that freedom has been weighing heavily on my mind. On page 15, they've got a story of a woman who has made a life-size cake of someone's bulldog. This was all over social media last week, typical of Sun just doing that. Mark Kenosis has just found out where the Welsh porn actress Lusty Glaze got her name. Yeah, from the beach. The bikini is 75 years old, so that's an excuse for the Sun to do a whole double-page spread of gratuitous pictures of people in bikinis. And this is written by Georgette Cully, the Sun's sexpert and bikini superfan. Right. On page 19, troops jump before 45 die in plane crash. Troops jumped from a transport plane yesterday before it crashed, leaving 45 people dead. Several soldiers leapt clear before the aircraft hit the ground, broke up and exploded into flames. This is the Philippines Air Force. Right, they've written this in a way where you start reading it and you think, oh, what troops? From where? Very badly written. There's a picture of Freddie Flintoff driving a tiny car, which is, funny. Deliveroo is investigating after the firm's distinctive uniform was used in a porn film. The flick, viewed 245,000 times on one adult site, shows women waiting for food, with one saying, "I'm hungry for some meat." A man then arrives with a KFC meal before joining the woman in bed. A Deliveroo staffer said, "Bosses want answers." The firm said it expects kit provided free to staff to be used responsibly. Provided free to staff? Go fuck yourselves. You should like the publicity Deliveroo. Isn't person in the room technically a sexpert? I suppose she is, yeah. Deliveroo's fighting a losing battle there. Yeah, I hope more people do it. Fuck off, Deliveroo. Selena Gomez has worn a bathing suit. That's somehow worthy of a story. In Love Island news, winners Amber and Kem tip sex romp. Bet she is first to Kaz it away. Love Island's Kaz Kamwe is tipped to be the first to have sex this series. In previous winners, Amber Gill and Kem Ketene reckon that would see passions unleashed in the villa. Uni slaps a trigger alert on 22 topics. University staff have been told to warn students if classes contain any distressing content. A list of 22 triggers to avoid includes heterosexism and classism. Yeah, this is, again, just absolute bullshit from the Sun. And they love their new little Wokipedia thing. SK the Crusader says, "Just to let you all know that I now have a Deliveroo uniform for unrelated reasons." On the front of the goals supplement, he's Gareth Southgate's man. He's better than Zidane is apparently the new chart. because apparently Luke Shaw has a better record at the Euros than Zinedine Zidane. Come on, get it correct. There's some recipes on offer. Pork and pineapple sliders. No, thank you. Orange and mango ice cream sandwiches. They look fine. Rosé and elderflower spritzer. Griddled aubergine banh mi. It's pretty nice. Parma ham, beetroot, mozzarella salad. And salt and pepper calamari. Fine. Person in the room is here. She's in the room. She is a person.
Hello.
There was a question just now about whether you technically count as a sexpert. Do you count as a sexpert?
I mean, I research sex, so
So,
guess.
yeah.
But I don't give advice,
No.
other than put the delivery costume away.
Yeah, I know. I just have the Just Eat costume.
You're like basic.
That's right. In TV recommendations, Gold Rush, Our Race to Olympic Glory, BBC One 9 p.m. Kathy Burke, Money Talks, Channel 4 10 p.m. I like Kathy Burke, she's cool. Weatherspoons, How Do They Do It? Channel 5 8 p.m. How do they do it? I don't think it's that complicated. And Long Lost Family, ITV 9 p.m. In Fab Daily, what do all those body noises mean? Gasping, wheezing, flatulence, belching, whooshing, a whooshing sound in your head, hiccuping. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's a desperately, we've got a space to fill. How does person in the room feel about the arrival of the beloved coin? Yes, that's right. If you are not on the Discord, but you've been waiting for the coin to arrive, the coin has arrived. Now, the thing about the coin is the coin came in...
It's not legally a coin.
It's not a coin. It is, in fact, a memorial token. It arrived in this item, right? And here's the thing, right? They really stitch you up. Because the coin is there, right? But look at all these spaces left for other coins you could get. There are 6 other coins that you can get. Anyway, here is the coin.
It's a shit memorial token. Commemorative token.
Right, so then it comes in a little annoying plastic box. I can't get it out of the plastic box. I'm passing it to person in the room. Gotta catch them all, yeah.
Oh my god, it's so shit.
It's so shit. Can you get it out of the plastic box? Or?
I don't think it comes out. I think
It does. No, I've got it out before. I've got it out of the plastic box before. Hang on. Let me break out the knife. Okay, have you released it from the box? No. Hang on.
I listened it for you.
Yeah, right. Okay, I've got it. It's become... A child has become trapped in the... Anyway, I can't get it out of the plastic... Red Tick Seed says that I gave the coin to the coin fan. Yes, well-known coin fan person in the room. Anyway, right, I can't get it out of its plastic commemorative case, but you can get it out of there. It's 24 karat gold plated, and look at the really rubbish picture of Prince Philip on it.
It's like someone's put a sticker on a...
It's someone's put a sticker on a large coin, yeah. Yeah, so it's not my birthday, it's Kid in the Room's birthday. Eat the coin, Mick.
Oh god! It's Chelsea's birthday as well.
Yes, it's Kid in the Room's birthday, which is what... Did you see the backdrop? Did you see the Kid in the Room celebratory backdrop of Boris Johnson bringing a cake on a zip line? I'm afraid to say that Prince Philip is dead. Anyway, right, so that's taken us... We've completely lost the run of things there with the coin diversion. This week's Dear Deirdre casebook is Kelly and the Love Rat. Here is the Love Rat in question. Look at him. Look at him in his pink polo shirt, getting ready to love rat. Red Tixie says, holy shit, Prince Philip died. When did that happen? F's in the chat for Prince Philip, who is dead. Dan Jones 3142 says, Prince Philip commemorative chocolate coin. It does really have the vibe of that. It's as low quality as we were led to expect. In the letters, a £50 letter today comes from David Webster, who says, oh my word, this was not just a victory for England against Ukraine, it was a demolition job. The 4-0 win in the Euros could easily have been so much higher. Gareth Southgate's team of heroes has given England such a feel-good factor. We are now just 2 games away from being champions of Europe. We can do this. They keep tempting fate. Also, there's no way a real person wrote that. That is classically written by someone in the Sun. If only someone had a souvenir pull-out so we could relive it. Yeah. And in the short letters, Richard Paris writes, "What Michael Gove and his wife do in their private lives is their business. Labour trying to score political points on the matter is as low as it can get." Sylvia Monk says, "The Queen is at her most relaxed amongst horses. After all the sadness she's been through in recent times, it was a joy to see that brilliant smile of hers at Windsor Horse Show." And in the same way, Lord Austin is at his most relaxed at Crufts. Luke Russell says, "I disagree with Jeremy Clarkson, who said Lewis Hughes should not have lost his job for accosting Professor Chris Whitty. No one, especially in the age of COVID-19, should be grabbed without their consent." Which is a sensible letter. Mary Stork says, "Oh dear, what a disappointment the statue of Princess Diana is. It does not capture her beauty, her smiling face, or her personality. It's hard to capture the personality in a statue, given that it is, static. Unless you want an animatronic, a cursed animatronic of Princess Diana, which in some ways I would throw my commemorative coins into." Helen Rowland writes, "It seems Boris is about to do a U-turn on foreign aid due to pressure from Theresa May and other backbenchers. The government has become detached from the public. Voters want illegal immigration stopped and foreign aid cut." Well, Helen's full of the milk of human kindness. Unfortunately, it's gone somewhat sour. They're trying to advertise grass trimmers to you, equity release as ever. And in the sport, ride time, ride place. Gareth, we've got to make final splash. And there is a picture of Bukayo Saka on the inflatable unicorn, which it is apparently now required that we see at least one player on at every tournament. That was the today's Sun. I give it a minus 69.69, aka the double negative nice. Do you want a speed run through the Guardian or the Times today? Pick now. Vote now. Guardian or Times for the speed run. Chronotherm says, pro-consent letters in the Sun. World's turned upside down. Slinkermeyer says that's more glitches in the Matrix. Mark Gnosis minus 69 romps with a love rat. Slinkermeyer gives it the double negative nice. Sonny and Fangirl says, "I'm here for the inflatable unicorn." I like the inflatable unicorn, to be fair. And conclusive votes for the Guardian in the speed run. How quickly do you think I can get through the Guardian today?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
My ma's phoning.
Oh, lovely. Okay, here we go. Hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
Sure, 3 minutes. Starting now.
Oh, here we go. I hadn't put the picture of the Guardian up. I'm making it hard on myself. Right, front page of the Guardian. There's an interview with May Markin in the G2 today. Fast learner how Raducanu became tennis's new star, partly because the newspapers desperately want that, so they're pushing her ahead, and then they will have to drag her down. Main stories: backlash from scientists as Johnson prepares to lift all COVID restrictions. We've got the picture of the unicorn again. Protests at ministers. NHS power grab in bill. Inside. Award for Heroism. Queen gives George Cross the NHS because a pay rise wouldn't be as good as a purely symbolic gesture. Warning that new NHS bill could lead to contracts being handed to cronies. Could. I think we're already well past that, aren't we, really? Victoria and Wales bring sustainable water supply to City Centre Park. That is in Manchester. EU fears UK wants to dismantle protocol, wants Irish Minister Simon Coveney. Cladding leaseholders get 15 years to sue for costs. That's good, I guess. PM warned against granting amnesty for all Troubles killings. It's a really bad, they really shouldn't do that. I bet they do. Newborn genome mapping proposal takes forward steps, probably a good thing. NHS mental health beds cut by 25% in a decade, says Labour. What are you going to do about it, though, lads? Horsham housing conflict leaves residents, developers and Tory council at odds. NIMBY fun. We Felt Heard. Film gives a voice and inspiration to teenagers in the foster care system. More of that, please. Peace deal likely to be short-lived in Washington. Reports Julian Borger in Washington about Afghanistan. They're comparing it to Vietnam. First Nations burn churches in Canada underline deep rifts over faith and abuse. Slovenia's street name dispute stirs up tensions from the Tito era. In the opinions, the actually very good Nesrine Malik says the two-tier EU vaccination regime will hit poorer nations. John Harris writes, Keir Starmer needs a vision. Buy British is not enough. Buy British is a rip-off of a Robert Maxwell plan from the 70s. Glad to be May is the front cover of G2. How COVID talk of waves and war confuses us, writes Elena Semino, who is a professor of linguistics. In the obituaries, Peter Zinoviev gets an obit from them. Robert Opron, designer who helped to create 3 of Citroen's most popular cars, also gets one. In the US, the Delta strain is causing a surge amongst vaccine hesitancy. Back to the office, the idea of it fills me with dread. They talk to various readers. Reporting from Jerusalem, 30 years on, we're still covering the same old enemies. It's a sort of behind-the-scenes Guardian 200 thing. In the sport, fearless youth, Raducanu and the Young Lions allow us to connect on an emotional level, says Robert Kitson. And bring it home, Southgate challenges England to ride Wembley, wave to glory. Citroen should make a car synthesizer. Hey, Google, how long left on the timer? Right, well, did that easily under 3 minutes. Gonna have to give myself more of a challenge with the Guardian. That's right, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Slinkermeyer is right. The Parliamentary Labour Party, no policy, no action, only vague condemnation. I'm up for Mark's idea of a Citroen with a synthesizer in it. Okay, so now we move on to the Times, and then we will be coming to the Daily Mail. I'm going to do the roll call before I get onto the Times. So, I am the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy or on TikTok at Useless Conquest. Why not do both? In the mod squad today is SK the Crusader, who has had an absolutely stellar run of streams recently. Do check those out on Video On Demand, and I'm sure he will let you know when he will be back on stream this week. In the chat today is Alon Mizrahi. Another TT viewer, Aiton, Bad Motivator, Chris McRae, Dan Jones, 3142, DNY Everything, Dine Everything, Freya Bentos, I always love that username, the excellent Judy Prunes, Chronotherm, Legeno 9, Mark Kenosis, always rocking the chat, Maureen Skell, Pantomime Horse, Red Tick Seed, the excellent Red Tick Seed, Rosie Rose, Slinker Meyer. I say it often, but do check out her photography on Instagram. It is phenomenal. Soul Chicken is here, studying Fangirl, doing some excellent streams. Do make sure you follow her here if you do not already. Torms is here, Terror Rights. The excellent Terror Rights. The Royal Flush is here, V&K, Virgo Pros, and Zautar, last but never least. Thank you all for joining me on this Monday show, this special Kid in the Room honouring Monday show. SK the Crusader is back on Thursday from 6 p.m. playing the Fermi Paradox. Salute back to you, Slinkermeyer. Soul Chicken, I love those. Those are great. Okay, let's get on with the Times. Front page of the Times, football versus Love Island. In a war which, why can't both lose? Trump's Life at Mar-a-Lago by Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff, Trump may be a liar, but Michael Wolff is also a liar. So who to believe? Perhaps none of them. Top of the page is the story which I have written today's newsletter on. Woke culture is biggest dividing line amongst voters. This is polling by the extremely unreliable, untrustworthy, fallacious, monstrous Frank Luntz. If you want to know more about this story, go to brokenbottleboy.substack.com and read today's newsletter, and then sign up for free. If you enjoy it, why not upgrade to a paid subscription, which helps me keep doing all this stuff. Studying Fangirl, am I supposed to care about Trump's life? Apparently, I don't. I couldn't give a shit. It's a shame he's not in jail, but, PM to call for common sense after COVID rules. Queen awards George Cross to heroic NHS. Absolutely propagandistic maneuver. Thank you, Slinkmeyer. Really, and Soul Chicken. Glad you like the newsletter. I really appreciate that. Inside, NHS facing a crisis as doctors plan to retire or go part-time. Funny, that story is hidden on page 2, but on the front page we get the NHS is going to be given the George Cross in a purely bullshit, completely symbolic, pointless move. On page 3, doctors to take on Antarctica unaided. Some pretty incredible pictures by Ed Fennell, a photographer who shot a lot of classic rock acts in the 70s LA. Pretty amazing. Man who told Southgate toughen up or else. This is Alan Smith, who mentored him when he was a youth player at Crystal Palace. On page 7, Amazon scales down row with fishmonger over Prime Day. For generations, fishmongers have used the term Prime Day to entice customers with the promise of top-quality fish from trawlers fishing for no longer than a day at a time. That is until Amazon caught wind of the phrase and decided to issue a legal threat to a fishmonger in London to prevent him from using it. Robert Moxon, who owns a small chain of fishmongers and a smokery, received an email from lawyers acting for Amazon asking that references to Prime Day fish be removed from Moxon's website to prevent shoppers mistaking it for part of Amazon's 2-day event of deals. Amazon has since withdrawn the legal threat and issued an apology, as has the legal firm. Moxon said the phrase had been popular among fishmongers before Jeff Bezos, the world's richest man, founded Amazon. But who founded Amazon was a glint in his mother's eye, and the email was heavy-handed and offensive. A spokesman for Amazon claimed they sent it by mistake. Yeah, right. Yeah, they are fucking awesome photos. They cut pages 8 and 9. They cover the heavy briefing from the government about how and when the rules will be removed. On page 11, they profile Emma Raducanu, who is just 18 years old and becoming a tennis star. 127 harassment cases at a single university. A survey by the Women in Tech Society at Sheffield Hallam University revealed the students experienced 126 incidents of harassment between September 2020 and April this year. I think you'll find that that's very common at most British universities and appalling nonetheless. Here's a cool picture of a paddleboarder being distracted by a dolphin. Uncritical support for the dolphin. Labour knows its own voters, but not anyone else, says Frank Lutz. Fuck off. Psychologist struck off after intense affair. An NHS psychologist has been struck off after having an intense and highly sexual affair with a patient who had a history of mental problems. That is abuse. Jewish man abused on bus and tube within an hour. Kaya Burgess, the Religious Affairs correspondent, says transport police are investigating alleged anti-Semitic abuse hurled at a Jewish man on London Underground in an incident that took place an hour before he was targeted on a bus. A man who asked to remain anonymous described his brother as visibly Jewish and said he had been abused while on number 113 bus in London heading on Oxford Circus on Saturday night. Posted an audio recording in which a man can be heard threatening to shank his brother and slit his throat for Palestine. He was posted a video showing a man appearing to tell the bus driver that his passenger was effing Jewish and asked, "Do you know what Jewish do?" before leaving the bus and shouting "Free Palestine" through the window. An hour earlier, the same Jewish man had been on an escalator at Oxford Circus tube station in front of a group of young men, some of whom were wearing England shirts and flags. They apparently verbally abused him as well. It's appalling. But, no, actually, no but, it is interesting how straight they will report that, as they should, but look at reporting of, say, anti-Islam attacks, say, attacks on Muslims are not reported in the same straight and unspun way. There's no doubt that should have been reported, and there's no doubt that that anti-Semitic abuse and attacks in the UK are on the rise, and on the rise globally. But you gotta there's questions around the reporting of other kinds of abuse. That's what I'm saying there. Slingermeyer agree. Labour actively works against its own voters to court people who will never vote for them. Chrono at my uni was a guy in his 30s who would hang around with freshers. Everyone knew he was dodgy, but the uni never did anything about him. It's grotesque, isn't it? US firms launch young lawyers with 150k starting salaries. This was a story last week. I don't know whether we're reporting again. Senior judges have been told to crack down on bullying colleagues after they received a dossier of complaints about aggressive behaviour from the bench. Who could possibly imagine that judges would be abusive? On page 16, policing bill is harmful to democracy, says Fiona Hamilton, crime and security editor. This is Priti Patel's plans to curb protest. Really dodgy stuff going on, including the way that Extinction Rebellion were heavily targeted by Priti Patel, close friend of Rupert Murdoch. The Paula Rego exhibition at Tate Britain gets 5 stars, and it's the policing bill. The policing bill is harmful to democracy. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to go and see this exhibition. The art is incredible. She was, of course, painting at the time of Salazar's fascist regime in Portugal. Fears for British embassy staff as Taliban fighters make gains in Afghanistan. Fraudsters 55,000 injury claims sunk by TV Wonder Goal. When Sky TV showed Callum Saunders scoring from near the halfway line, should have been a career highlight, but the striker's exploits as a non-league superstar turned out to be a spectacular own goal. Saunders, 33, was in the middle of attempting an insurance fraud after a motor crash in 2017. He was in process of claiming more than 55,000 for injury. While he was making the claim, he scored from a free kick beside the centre circle. Footage of his 45-yard strike for Haywards Heath Town appeared on Soccer AM. The unbridled joy of the part-time footballer and decorator was short-lived as the video clip was used in evidence at the Gloucester and Cheltenham County Court. Lawyers for the insurance company Aviva told the court that it proved Saunders was exaggerating the extent of his incapacity because he had clearly kicked the ball with his right foot, which he had claimed had been injured in the crash. Oh, what a mug. In the comment pages, Jesus. Stephen Bush says Labour's Kashmir flip-flop could prove costly by denigrating India to win Muslim votes. Keir Starmer raises awkward questions about what he stands for. Here's the answer. He doesn't stand for anything. And he stands for nothing. He falls for everything. All he stands for is doing what his financially heavily invested backers want him to do. Edward Lucas says Twitter must not buckle to Beijing's pressure. Okay. Satnam Sangera is doing the notebook today. Talks about his nieces getting their jabs. He talks about it's kind of boring. Tweet of the month, he says, comes from Glennie Rog. Hey, handsome, why not come over to my place and eat the fried breadcrumbs I'm covered in? She said croquettishly. Tweet. That's the best tweet you've seen. SK the Crusader. It's good to denigrate fascist states. Agreed. Zaltar. I am convinced the purpose of centrism is to keep the left out of power and feather their nest in the process. That's entirely the purpose. It's class interest. Exactly. SK Crusader. Libby Purvis, awful, says it's time for NHS contract tracing to ping off. And here's the really insidious thing from the Times that they've just hidden in the leader columns. Health and wealth. The best 73rd birthday present that the nation could offer to the NHS would be a mature debate about how to fund it in the long term. And guess what their answer is? It's more stealthy privatisation. It's increasingly clear there is a mismatch between the NHS is expected to deliver and the resources it receives. Yeah. Yes, do watch SK's video on agrocentrism. It's really good. Drop the link if you've got it to hand, SK. Right, in the birthdays, Sir Paul Smith, the fashion designer, is 75. Sebastian Barry, playwright, novelist and poet, is 66. Mark Cox, the former #1 British tennis player and first amateur tennis player to be a professional, is 78. Paul Daniel, the music director of orchestra Orchestre National Bordeaux Aquitaine is 63. Marcus Davey, Chief Executive of the Roundhouse, is 54. Susanna Doyle, the actress, is 55. Ian Durant, the chairman of DFS and Greggs, is 63. Elizabeth Emanuel, the fashion designer who co-designed Princess Diana's wedding dress, is 68. Edie Falco, the actress, is 58. Shane Fillan, the singer-songwriter from Westlife, is 42. Claire Hensman, Lord Lieutenant of Cumbria, is 73. Billy Jenkins, the blues guitarist, is 65. Huey Lewis of The News is 71. Anne Longfield, Children's Commissioner for England until 2021, is 61. Rachel Maskell, the Labour MP for York Central and Shadow Digital Culture, Media and Sport Minister, is 49. Amelie Mauresmo, the tennis player, is 42. Anne-Marie Morris, the Conservative MP for Newton Abbot, is 64. Roisin Murphy, who is excellent, is 48. Yasmin Qureshi, Labour MP for Bolton South East, Shadow International Development Minister, is 58. Peter Thompson, Chief Executive of the National Physical Laboratory, 54. Prof. Christopher Tumazu, the founder and chief scientist of the Institute of Biomedical Engineering at Imperial College, is 60. Ian Watmore, chairman of England and Wales Cricket Board, is 63. Susan Wojcicki, the chief executive of YouTube, is 53. Whitney Wolfe, founder and chief exec of Bumble, is 32. John Wright, the first New Zealander to score 5,000 runs in Test cricket, is 67. Gianfranco Zola, the footballer, is 55. On this day in 1937, the first can of Spam rolled off the Hormel Foods production line in the US, and the last word today goes to Frida Kahlo, who said, they thought I was a surrealist, but I wasn't. I never painted dreams, I painted my own reality. In the world news, Biden takes aim at Russia over crippling cyber attack. Takes aim. He struggled to fucking take aim at anything. Europe's populists joined forces to battle Brussels superstate. Right, populists. Drones with lasers clear minefield to open path for migrating elephants in Angola. It's kind of cool. Pope has surgery as Cardinal faces fraud trial. Spanish Shakespeare sailed in Armada. Lope de Vega, the Spanish Shakespeare, or you could say Shakespeare is the British Vega, sailed with the Armada in 1588. His life is being reappraised, however, after a British historian discovered a spy report showing he embarked on the fleet. The poet and playwright, nicknamed the Phoenix of Wits, led an action-packed life, writing more than 500 plays, exchanging barbs with Miguel de Cervantes, escaping assassination and siring about 15 children, some illegitimately, after he became a priest. Bollywood uproar at plan to let public veto film releases. A proposed rule to allow anybody to make a complaint that would stop the release of a film has triggered uproar in Bollywood. More than 1,400 members of the film industry have signed a petition protesting against the policy, fearing it will kill any film with controversial, risque or provocative theme. Yeah, that's what they're trying to achieve. In the business, hedge fund is trying, an investment consortium, called Fortress is trying to buy Morrison's. Looks like it'll be able to do that. On the front of the Times too, who's scoring for you this summer? Team England versus Team Love Island. Paul Johnson says the role played by families has been overlooked during the COVID crisis. By whom, Paul? The government, yes. In the obituaries, James Crawford, Australian lawyer who helped to found the International Criminal Court and warned Tony Blair that waging war on Iraq would be illegal, has died. He was suffering from Parkinson's and cancer, and he died aged 72. Yeah. If only Tony Blair had listened to him, but he had no interest in doing that, because legality was not of the concern to them over that war. Damaris Heyman, Doctor Who actress who bonded with Tony Hancock over Winnie the Pooh and had an encounter with a frisky elephant, weird, has died. She was 91. And Peter Willis, well-connected founder of Pride of Britain Awards and editor of the Daily Mirror, for whom the sky was no limit, has died. He was 54. Before the Daily Mirror's first Pride of Britain Awards in 1999, Piers Morgan, the paper's editor, gave strict instructions to Peter Willis that he was to get a Prime Minister, a Queen, and at least one member of the Beatles. Tony Blair and Queen Noor of Jordan were among those at the Dorchester Hotel. At the last minute, in walked Paul McCartney, who was chatting to the model Heather Mills, leading to the first Pride of Britain wedding and divorce. Journalists tend to get very nice obits from other journalists. They're trying to sell you a Steiff Peter Rabbit, yours for just 5 interest-free monthly payment instalments of £47.80. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of money for a fucking rabbit. And then in the sports, they've got the picture of Saka on the unicorn again, and Southgate semi-finals not enough. Fit against Saka could start against Denmark. 8,500 tickets to go on sale for England fans. And Lewis Hamilton basically says he's got no chance of winning the championship, the Drivers' Championship this year. That was the Sun. Sorry, that was the Times. Same shit, isn't it? I give that a, I don't know, it's a couple of good animal stories. So minus 67 today. £250 for a fucking stuffed rabbit. Exactly, Slinker Double negative nice from Slinker. Mark says you can get a jungle skog for £25. I don't know what that is. What is that? I could just Google it, couldn't I? I could just Google it. I've got a computer in front of me, but I can't because then I have to fuck about. I neither wish. I wish to find out, but I don't wish to fuck about. Right. We're gonna move on. Oh, it's the IKEA bear. Okay, that's cool. I did not know that was the name of that bear. I need to change the picture, but I need to... There we go. This is going so well. Right, here we go. That's my whole music. Okay, we are on to the Daily Mail. Here is the Daily Mail front page of Daily Mail's a very cursed thing. Our nation of heroes. 3 lions are making history. Queen gives NHS the George Cross. And the main story, freedom is in your hands now. As the government seeks to pass the buck. Inside, they're starting to get kind of creepy about Emma Raducanu. Is that picture choice deliberate from the Daily Mail? Of course it is. Such a cringeworthy front page. Absolutely agree with you, Slinker. On pages 4 and 5, Sajid versus Sage Doomsters. Do you mean the Ayn Rand obsessed new health secretary versus the actual scientist? That's one way. There's one way you could put it. On pages 10 and 11, Great Wembley Tickets Scramble, and David Mellor said, it felt like we hadn't just won a soccer match, we'd beaten COVID. Fuck off, David Mellor. Remain in the 90s where you belong. Shoppers to pay prices. Morrison sells out to the US. Remember, Daily Mail is obsessed with private equity companies gobbling up firms. It's their current big problem. There's a thing where they're saying that railway bridges, disused railway bridges, are being destroyed by councils. Some red hot pictures of disused railway bridges, if that's your fetish. Apparently Shandy's coming back, and they get Gilly Goulden, to rate them. She gives Fuller's Black Cab Stout mixed with Fentimans Ginger Beer 10 out of 10. New Barnes Pilsner mixed with Fentimans Rose Lemonade 2 out of 10. Heineken mixed with R. White's Cloudy Lemonade 7 out of 10. Hoegaarden Wheat Beer mixed with Fentimans Victorian Lemonade 2 out of 10. Doom Bar Amber Ale mixed with Supermalt Ginger Beer 5 out of 10. Shandy Shack Elderflower Lager Top 4 out of 10. Schurferhofer Radler 6 out of 10. Mann's Brown Ale mixed with Schweppes Lemonade 9 out of 10. And Ansbach and Hobday Craft Lager 2 out of 10. Leffe mixed with Schweppes 6 out of 10. Unbeliever Grapefruit Radler 9 out of 10. The Original Small Beer Company mixed with R. White's Lemonade 2 out of 10. And Shandy Shack IPA Shandy 8 out of 10. There are your Shandy ratings. Fuck, don't mix Doom Bar with anything, especially not Super Malt. I do love a Super Malt, just have it on its own. Jeremy Jeremy Clarkson's farm shop is becoming very popular, which has angered Isabel Oakeshott. Hard to say who I want to lose more there. If they could both lose, it would be great. Just have Doombar on its own. It's like more drinkable water. Fury over gay slurs on BBC Arabic service. Peter Tatchell says BBC Arabic service is colluding with bigotry. Giving quotes to the Daily Mail as colluding with bigotry as well. Julianne Moore has said growing old gracefully is a sexist way of discussing women. I would agree. Rachel Johnson, why a catsuit can turn any woman into a foxy feline? Oh, shut up. Couple trapped in car as beast burst through fence into lane. An angry bull terrified a couple when it burst through a fence onto a road in front of them. I support the bull. Sheridan splits with fiance 14 months after their son's birth. These are the same papers that are telling us that we shouldn't have much coverage of Michael Gove and Sarah Vine's divorce because it's a private matter. But this isn't. You know, Sheridan Smith doesn't hold any public office as of yet. There's a special investigation, it claims, from Mark Edmonds. Thousands now kept as pet, many in cramped or unsavoury conditions. Ministers have vowed new laws to protect them. But here Mark Edmonds reveals the barbaric reality of life for primates trafficked on the dark web. You don't fucking need the dark web to traffic them, frankly. Studying Fangirl. Who wants to be a foxy feline? I'll stay human, thanks. Yeah. Right, okay. Time for the On This Day column. On this day, July 5th, 2021, in 1985, the Daily Mail was writing, maths prodigy Ruth Lawrence, age 13, found it hard to get excited yesterday when she became Britain's youngest graduate. I'm not really terribly surprised, she said, when told she had won a first-class honours degree, a £100 prize for the highest examination marks in all Oxford University, and a special commendation from the examiners. Yeah, and she'll have had a shit time. Who wants to go to university age 13? The reason she got amazing marks, she had fuck all else to do. And then on this day in 1999, they wrote, it was never going to be an understated affair, but yesterday Victoria Adams and David Beckham outdid themselves as they tearfully became man and wife. The bride wore a £100,000 golden crown encrusted with diamonds, and as the groom placed the ring on her finger, a single white dove was released into the sky. Happy birthday to Mark Conn, 62. He's best known for walking in Memphis, inspired by his trip to Elvis Presley's home of Graceland. It was also a hit when covered by Cher. In 2005, he survived being shot in the head during attempted carjacking. The bullet was only a couple of centimetres from his brain. And also happy birthday to Elizabeth Emanuel, co-designer of Princess Diana's dress. Born on this day, 1959, died 1996, Victoria Guerin, the Irish crime reporter played by Kate... I hate this. So fucking going on about her being played in the film by Cate Blanchett. Anyway, Victoria Guerin was investigating Dublin's drug barons when she was shot dead 25 years ago last month. Then Taoiseach John Bruton said the assassination was an attack on democracy. Also born on this day in 1911, Georges Pompidou, the former French president and prime minister, won the Croix de Guerre for service during World War II. He was so well turned out that even the soles of his shoes were polished. That's weird. You'd fall off. You'd fall over. That's dumb. British architect Richard Rogers co-designed the Pompidou Centre, Europe's largest modern art museum, but Georges did not live to see it open. On this day in 1937, Spam first launched, and in 1945, on this day, the general election gave Clement Attlee's Labour a landslide victory over Winston Churchill. Quote of the day, Richard Lovelace, the English poet, says, "Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage." And joke of the day, why did the scientist disconnect his doorbell? He wanted the Nobel Prize. Fuck Mark Holmes for suing Shut Up and Dance over I'm Raving. Mark Holmes is disappointed to find out that Compass Box is a whiskey and not a stationery shop. It's a good whiskey, though. It is a good whiskey. They've got a really good range. Inspire, on the Inspire pages, toxic curse of trying to be Little Miss Perfect. More and more women feel under pressure to excel in everything they do. And who makes them feel like that? People like the fucking Daily Mail. Now one group of sufferers is saying it's time we put an end to toxic curse of trying to be Little Miss Perfect. They talk about they've got round talking about Mochi because apparently that's the thing now. Even though Mochi has been around, forever. The one lesson I've learned from life by Dr. Alex George: you can't hide from mistakes. On the front of the Euros verdict, can Kane claim the golden boot? Yeah, possibly. Dr. Max the Mind Doctor, no fan of his. Can't be bothered to really get into what he's on about today. Fucking thing. Frances Hardy says she was told she had 6 months to live just as lockdown struck. 1 year on, in her most heartfelt interview yet, fashion designer Dame Zandra Rose reveals the real reason I kept my cancer a secret, and why not reveal it in the Daily Mail of all fucking places. Something like it's called the patriarchy. Yep, and the Daily Mail advocates for it daily. Oh, hang on. Household hints from history. Delightful. Lost tips from the Daily Mail archive. To remove marks on a varnished table made by a hot dish, pour a little kerosene over the spot and rub well with a soft cloth. Then throw a match at it and discard. Why is it so hard to escape the shadow of the first wife? He'd been divorced 2 years, but finding a photo of her husband's ex still left Claire Kalman riddled with self-doubt. Right in the Daily Mail. In the TV, Ghislaine Maxwell Epstein's Shadow gets a 4-star review from Christopher Stevens. The recommended TV show tonight is Long Lost Family. They're still trying to encourage you to enter the competition to win a caravan. In Garfield, it's someone's birthday. Every day someone's birthday, and Garfield eats the whole cake. In Chloe and Co, a man and Chloe are having a conversation and drinking. And in Fred Bassett and his friends are out and they play football with some children in a park. The only pure thing in the Daily Mail, as we often say, is Fred Bassett. Today in the straight to the point letters, Jay Walmsley frequently turns up in the pages of the Daily Mail letters, pages of the Daily Mail, says, Roads Minister Baroness Veer should be left in a broken down car on a smart motorway for 5 minutes. Then ask her if she still thinks they're safe. P. Williams says, will schools replace history with backstory lessons? Gillian Thompson says, Prime Minister's questions, as well named, will get no answers. T. Norton says, a massive majority reduced to just 323 votes in Batley and Spen. I don't call that a success, Starmer. I mean, you're right. Ron Terry says, come on, England. That'll teach them to give us nil points. Can't we just win nicely? No, we can't. Brian Sherwood says, if privately owned e-scooters can't be used in public spaces, then why does Alfred sell them? And Graham Ludlam says, the only person fit to run the NHS is a retired matron. Ray Lloyd writes, once we stop wearing face masks, will we all be left with sticky out ears like Prince Charles? Jesus. The recipe of the day is balsamic feta and mint pui lentils. Honestly, looks rank. They're trying to sell you more cruises. Of course they are. Cruises. Trying to sell you a alarm for if you fall over. Classic stretch denim in light blue and indigo. And also these ugly wide fit trainers. That is from the company called Chums. They're trying to get you to buy citrus fruit trees. And in the sport, Beaming Emma bids to make history, and Gareth time to end the hoodoo. Semi-final isn't enough for England boss, who's out to break 55-year curse. That was the Daily Mail. That is quadruple negative. Nice from me. One of the most cringeworthy front pages we've had in a very long time. Thank you for joining me today on this Monday show. I have been your host, The Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter, @BrokenBottleBoy. If you enjoy the show and you want to contribute, there are ways to do it. You can subscribe to this channel. Use your if you've got Amazon Prime, you can do it for free. That's good. But also, another good way, in a way some people do occasionally, not recently, but sometimes do, is chuck some coins into the newspaper fund, paypal.me/conquest of the useless. If you do and you want to choose a magazine for a magazine special, just put the price of the magazine, perhaps a little bit more, into the newspaper fund and put in the payment note what magazine you want me to review. Also, if you have not subscribed to the newsletter, do subscribe to the newsletter at brokenbottleboy.substack.com. You can subscribe for free, and then if you like it, upgrade to the paid edition that gets you some extra stuff. Mark Canosa says it's coming home. Fred Bassett. Slingermeyer, I agree. I think the streets will be horrendous if England win the entire thing. Mark Canosis, imagine if they lose to Italy in the final. I wouldn't want to be a pizzeria owner. Cruise is a plague ship. Has banned them, says Chronotherm. Slingermeyer gives the Daily Mail minus all the 69s. And finally, if you haven't joined the Discord, do consider joining it. It's good. We have good stuff in it, and there's more people joining it all the time. It's free to join, and it's good. So here's the link for the Discord. And I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mark knows this. If they lose to France, it's the final nail in the coffin for Café Rouge. That might not be the worst thing that could happen out of it. Right, I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. In the meantime, catch me in the Discord or hit me up on Twitter. As usual, if you've come in late for this show, it will be up on YouTube later today and available immediately as video on demand. Have a really good one all. Really appreciate seeing you today. See you tomorrow. Cheers.